Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is February 6, 2024, and internal sources at the club are currently reporting that it will be Joan Laporta himself who handpicks Barcelona's next president. Also, I will tell you about all the steps that the club will be taking in the summer in order to build Barcelona's next project. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and before we begin with the news, just a quick reminder to make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All of this helps this channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the kit bag, and if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you hit the Bet Us. Both links for kit bag and Bet Us are down below in the description. Now, I'll begin with the news that internal sources at FC Barcelona are currently reporting that it will be Joan Laporta himself who will be picking the next Barcelona manager. Now, ever since Xavi Hernandez announced that he will be stepping down at the end of the season, Barcelona have been having a lot of internal discussions on who should replace Xavi next. And even though the board of directors have expressed publicly that it will be Deco, the sporting director, who will pick the next manager, internal sources are saying that it will be actually the Barcelona president, Joan Laporta, who will pick the next Barcelona manager. Now, the reason for this is that Laporta understands how critical this next choice will be, because this decision will transcend many years to come, even after Joan Laporta is gone as a president, because of course we do have a very young and talented pool of players who will need as much guidance right now. So whoever Laporta picks, that will influence the future of these youngsters, and will also influence the future of the club as a whole, because of course Barcelona are currently in a bad financial situation, and the success of this project, or the success of the club, depends on the success of this project. Now, as I mentioned many times before, Joan Laporta is a big fan of the German school of training. He likes their how they have modernized football, their intensity, the way they develop the players physically. Of course, this is something that Laporta has talked about a lot in the past, and as such, Joan Laporta will look to get a German coach in order to modernize Barcelona's style of play. Now, there are several names on this list, with many of them that you already know by now, but there is one new name. But of course, we'll start with Joan Laporta's dream signing, which is Jurgen Klopp, who will be available at the end of the season, as he has announced that he will be stepping down as Liverpool's manager. Now, of course, the problem is that Jurgen Klopp has announced that he wants to take a year off. He wants a sabbatical year, so that makes it very complicated for Joan Laporta. But nonetheless, it's reported that Barcelona will still try to contact Jurgen Klopp to see if maybe they can persuade him to come to Barcelona. But knowing Jurgen Klopp and knowing that he's a man of his word, this will be an incredibly difficult task. Now, the second name on this list, and this is the new name that I was just talking about, which is Ralf Rangnick. I hope I said that correctly. I'm just gonna call him Ralph to make it easier on myself. But Ralph is currently the coach of the Austrian national team. He's actually worked in a lot of clubs, including Manchester United, Salzburg, Leipzig. His resume is incredibly long, and Ralph is considered as one of the people who revolutionized and modernized German football. And in fact, it was Ralph who suggested to Joan Laporta, while Laporta was a candidate, to hire a modern German coach, someone like Nagelsmann or Tuchel. And speaking of Nagelsmann, of course, he is the German national coach. His contract is up at the end of the Euro Cup this summer, so he is still an option that Joan Laporta is considering. Of course, this is someone who Joan Laporta spoke to back when Laporta was running for presidency. And there is, of course, also Flick, who I told you about, that Deco has already reached out to him to let him know that Barcelona are considering him as a Barcelona manager. And of course, Flick is very happy and excited to come to Barcelona, with even reports saying that he has already started learning Spanish. Now, the final name on Joan Laporta's list is, of course, Thomas Tuchel, who even though he is at Bayern Munich right now, Barcelona are not ruling out this option because Tuchel is currently struggling with Bayern Munich, so we don't know what's going to happen. So Barcelona not completely ruling out this option. Now, as always, I would love to hear from you guys. Who do you think would be best suited to become Barcelona's coach? Do you think it's Klopp? Is it Ralph, Flick, Tuchel, or Nagelsmann? Let me know down below in the comment section. And speaking of the Barcelona project, as I reported many times before, the club will explain what project they want to these prospective candidates, and based on that, they will pick the next coach of Barcelona, which I really like that the club have decided to do this rather than just hiring a coach and figuring out what project he wants to implement. Barcelona want to implement their own project and see what coach fits this project, and they'll know that by presenting the project to all the candidates and see what these candidates think. Now, speaking of the project, Barcelona will be undertaking 3 very important steps during this summer in order to begin building this new project, because technically speaking, in June, it will be a new project now that Xavi will be stepping down. And the first step in this project will be to offload players. Now, during this step, Barcelona will not only be looking to offload players in order to clear space on the wage bill, they will also be looking to generate profits. Of course, there are plenty of options as far as offloading players. We know that Sergi Roberto and Marcos Alonso's contracts expire at the end of the summer. We know that Barcelona will look to offload the loan players such as Serginho Dest and Clement Lenglet. And of course, there is talks about a few big sales within the first team. The one that's going to be most obvious will probably be Andreas Christensen, given that how many center backs Barcelona has, and given that Christensen arrived for free and he has a 40 million euro market value, so that will be pure profit for the club. Now, the second step will be for Barcelona to sign a world-class center midfielder in order to replace Sergio Busquets. Of course, we all know that since Sergio Busquets left, Barcelona haven't been able to find someone proper to replace him. And it's reported now that Barcelona will look to make a big investment to, again, bring a world-class player to take over that position. Now, during this step, Barcelona will look to use the space that they will clear off the wage bill from offloading players, plus the profits that they will make of offloading players to sign a top-class player. And of course, the list is long with players like Amadou Onana all the way to Kimmich. And of course, Xavi did want Subimendi, but now with Xavi leaving, the Subimendi option will lose some weight. Now, the third step will be the young generation of players that are currently incoming from La Masia. So the third step for this project will be for Barcelona to nurture and develop these youngsters who have been meeting all the expectations of the club. Players like Lamine Yamal, Hector Fort, Kouarsi, and even younger players who are currently in the academy like Bernal, like Marc Bernal, or even players like Gavi and Balde and Araujo, who might be an older generation than the other ones, but they're still pretty young and they still have many years to offer Barcelona. Now, during this step, Barcelona will be looking for a coach that can nurture and develop this talent, because the basis of the project will be this young talent. And of course, Barcelona will have to make some decisions. For example, the fullback position, whether Hector Fort will become a starter on the first team in the right back position, whether they'll try to bring Alex Baye from loan to compete with Balde in the left back position. And of course, there is the matter of Lamine Yamal, where Barcelona want him to be a cornerstone of the project, but they still understand that he's 16 years old, so it's gonna have to be a fine balance between, having Lamine Yamal as the cornerstone of the project, but at the same time protecting him and nurturing him so he can continue growing and developing into the star that we all know he can be. And speaking of Sergi Roberto and Marcos Alonso, since I did mention them during step 1 of rebuilding the project or building a new project, however you want to look at it, Barcelona have decided not to extend the contract of Sergi Roberto, which expires during this summer. And this is mostly due to the fact that Xavi Hernandez is leaving, because had Xavi stayed, the club were planning on renewing Sergi Roberto per Xavi Hernandez's request. So now that Xavi is leaving, the club will not be renewing Sergi's contract. Now, in regards to Marcos Alonso, there was never the intention to renew his contract to begin with. And of course, we do know that he has been negotiating with Atletico de Madrid. So we all expect that Marcos Alonso will be leaving Barcelona as a free agent, most likely to Atletico Madrid. Who knows, maybe someone else swoops in. But for now, it looks like Alonso will be heading to the Madrid-based club. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And as always, Visca Barça.